This reset will be a huge shock when Americans catch on. That's why the average person won't hear a word about the story until it's obvious to just about everyone. That's why if you're going to invest, I'd recommend you do it right now, today. And I found a small company at the center of it all. They're building the bridge between the legacy banking world and a new financial system. This firm recently bought the assets and the intellectual property to build what could become one of America's first government-accepted stablecoin networks. This company is going to become the leading firm powering the global payment system going forward. It has the intellectual property, technology, and the engineering expertise to launch a global payment system that handles every single currency from every country that's going to be faster, easier, and more cost-effective than every existing solution. We are right on the verge of a once-in-a-generation opportunity to profit by investing in the companies that are building out the architecture for this massive shift. We're also about to see massive changes in the $23 trillion world of big finance. Central banks around the world are planning to go digital. Many of the legacy banks you've heard of, where you probably even keep your money, like Bank of America, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, they're about to be reset, overhauled by a new type of technology called fintech, which is short for financial technology. Financial technology is revolutionizing the $23 trillion old guard banking industry. But yeah, I got to remember, the central banks and the folks on Wall Street, they want to keep this transformation under wraps for as long as they possibly can. This reset will be a huge shock when Americans catch on.
International XRP transaction typically takes only a few seconds to a few minutes to complete. Ripple, the company behind XRP, designed the XRP ledger to facilitate fast and efficient cross-border transactions, significantly reducing the time and cost compared to traditional banking systems like SWIFT. Key features of XRP transactions include speed, cost, reliability. Speed. Most XRP transactions settle in approximately 3 to 5 seconds. Cost. Transaction fees are very low, often fractions of a cent. Reliability. The XRP ledger can handle a high volume of transactions, making it a robust solution for international transfers. Efficiency is one of the reasons XRP is often considered a viable alternative for cross-border payments and remittances. And when you realize who is already involved with XRP, the dots start connecting. And in between the lines, you can start to question, was Ripple and XRP a military operation to rid the world of US hegemony?
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple, who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple, who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple, a former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple, leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple, who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple, 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple, 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at SWIFT, former SWIFT board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple, who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's High-Level Advisory Board on FinTech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.